Hi, Lacey. I wanted to start out by saying thank you for sending Layla into training. She was a bit of a handful at first, definitely see the issues you were having, but she really grew on me. She's a good horse under the respect issue. So now that she has the gist of all this, she's doing great. So I wanted to start out here by showing you just something you're going to be doing all the time, leading her around. I want her to stay right here, right next to my side or just behind me. You can see I'm even backing her up. That's a really good exercise to do. I'll do it straight on here. So you're leading her. You can stop, back her up. Her signal to back up is going to be to wiggle that lead rope. You can do it alongside, which is the more advanced one that she knows now, and I'll show you in a minute straight back also. So I'm going to move on to lunging here. I'm just going to make this a good run-through demo of everything she's been doing. So I have about, 6 feet of lead rope here, and I'm asking her to just curl her nose around this circle. She's doing a lot better with that. I'm yielding hindquarters, point, and send. Notice she's keeping space from you now and lunging. If you just kind of send her off, she's doing that and maintaining her space. You're just going to maintain that with your direction changes. So when I yield her and send, I'm going to send her off from that point. I'm not going to back up at all. That's going to be a really big point. So she knows what to do now. That's going to be your little thing to maintain it. Just hold your spot, aka hold your ground, and get her to do that. So you can see she's gotten a lot more responsive. If I just kind of throw my hand here, she's getting a lope going. Just keep that going by, you release that pressure when she's doing the right thing. So if she's not doing it for you, keep the pressure on so you see that lope and then go ahead and send her. So she's being a lot more patient here. Here's that wiggle the lead rope, telling her to back. And if she doesn't do it, you could get after her a little like that. So I'm wiggling first, then I'm walking towards her. If that doesn't work, I give her a little pop. If that doesn't work, I'd give her a bigger pop. But make sure she's backing good before you stop. All right, moving on to yield the hindquarters. This is super important. Her hindquarters are her biggest asset. That's where her power is. So we're moving it away from us. And right afterwards, I'll usually do a little desensitizing here. I don't want her to be too sensitive to me. I want her to really watch my body language. That's relaxed. But watch when I kind of take up a short lead rope and really walk towards her, leaning forward. That's, hey, get that out of my way. She respects that. Then I do a little desensitizing. So my body language is nice and relaxed. That's important. You want to go back and forth on this. She's really good with the yield the hindquarters now. Just do a little bit each time when you do groundwork, and she should be able to maintain that. Okay, now for the riding part. I would recommend doing groundwork before you ride her when possible. Groundwork is somewhere you can really work on any issues there. So I did my groundwork first. That was real short. That works fine, and she's in a good mood. She challenges you, spend a little longer there. So now I'm hopping on. And I'm flexing her. This is going to be important now that she has some energy because she's not being sour. We don't want her to be in a rush and moving off as soon as you get on. So flexing her a couple times is a good way to top off your power steering fluid a little bit, getting her nice and soft for your turns, and also getting her to be patient when you first get on. So I would check in with her mare. When you have a bull type mare like this, their moods fluctuate a little bit. So when you get on, if you have the opportunity, if you're not just hitting the trail with friends or something, hop on and do these little figure eights right here. Figure it out. Bump her with your feet. You can do a one-ring stop like that. So I'm riding her around. I'm checking my emergency brake here. So I'm walking, and I'm going to slide my hand down here in a second. Pull to my hip, she disengages that hindquarters and stops. So those little figure eights kind of check in with her. One ring stops. You're checking in to see how her mood is today. You could stay there a little bit, make her be responsive for you if you want. You could start trotting little bitty circles, making her focus for you. Right now, she's in a good mood. She's real respectful. She's right where we want her. So if you got a day like that, just get busy. Get doing whatever you wanted to work on for the day. So at this point, I'm starting with just a regular trot circle. Her attitude is great right now. So trot a couple circles this way. Just moving her feet around. You can see she's a lot more fluid and forward moving in her trot now. Her ears are up. She's relaxed. She's not being stubborn. I'm not even really having to touch her with my legs other than the real small turns right there. She's being really responsive. You'll have to excuse me. We got a phone call in the middle of that, so we stopped, and we're continuing now. So your leadership with her is going to be extremely important. When she was able to settle into that second place role instead of being leader, she became a way better horse. You can see she's super easy to lope off. That was just me kissing to her and like touching her with my calves, like a little bump. Like, hey, can you go into a lope for me? And it's right away, yes, ma'am. There's no question in her mind right now that I'm leader. And that has actually transferred over to, here's the good part for you, for the good news. She's had 3 other riders on her also. They have had partial rides, and one of them, one of my very experienced helpers rode her for the whole session too, and just to see if, you know, towards after a little while she'd start challenging, and she didn't. So she is settled into people are first, I'm second. So you're just going to maintain that by doing your groundwork, by making sure whenever you let off the pressure when you're riding, let off the pressure being, you know, let her stand, let her walk, something super simple, is when she's being really good. So I'm cruising around right here just showing you a demo, showing you how well she's doing, so you have some confidence going into this and know, okay, she can do this. I've seen it. I know she can, so I'm going to hold her to it. So have that expectation in her now. But I'm going to kind of show you here in a minute. I'm just going to cruise her around, and when I feel like she's doing really, really nice, then I'm going to let her slow down. I might slow her down to a trot and just relax for a little bit, work on slower, easier stuff, or I might come all the way to a walk or stop and let her just flex and catch her breath and rest for a little while. When you're doing your tuning rides, and I'd recommend just throw them in as often as you can, makes for a really nice horse, just take that time to really show her, hey, here's the easy way. If you go into this lope, if you do this, if you do such and such, and you do it well and you do it without attitude, then we might be here for a minute. You know, I might come over here and do rollbacks with her. And if she does really, really well, we'll go walk a whole lap. We'll go walk for a solid 2 minutes. So for the sake of the demo, I'm kind of throwing a lot in here, but you can be as fair with this as you want. If she does really well, reward it. These mares appreciate fairness. So if you don't reward it, then they'll get a little bit sour. And I'm not saying that was what was wrong with her. I actually think it was a completely different reason. I think she just kind of became boss of people, and it was, you know, all downhill from there. But she doesn't have that problem anymore. And you're going to maintain this really good attitude by being really fair with her. You're going to keep that lope where she doesn't even flit her tail, and that quiet mouth and those forward ears, by just being fair. I want to note real fast, right there, that really good stop is from backing her up after stopping her. She had a little bit of a sketchy stop, so make sure about 50% of the time you're backing her up after you stop, if possible, if you're not just going down the trail with friends or something. It's really, really helpful. So for the sake of the demo, I'm about to finish up. She's done really well, and she's shown you all that I wanted to show you, and kind of shown herself off a little bit. So I'm going to leave you with that. But from here, if this was my normal training ride, or you're just doing some maintenance work on her, I would let her catch her breath here, do those flexes, and then go back to work for a little bit and just do that every 10 minutes or so. So all of this is going to be really important. Be fair with her. Don't just solid work her to death, even when she's doing good and she's never saying no, and you just keep saying work harder, work harder, work harder with no extra pay. Make sure you're giving her some breaks. Make sure you're being fair to her. But do hold her to a standard now. She can do this. She can do this respectfully. So when you're working her, expect her to maintain that second place position. There's going to be a number 1 and a number 2 in every relationship with these guys. And you want to stay on that number 1 spot. So that's where people are now in her world. She knows that they're boss, and she's going to respect that. Hold her to that standard, that she's got to maintain that. She's got to maintain that respect. If she challenges you, catch the little things, nip it in the bud a little bit. If she starts to give you some trouble on the ground, lunge her in some fast circles, pretty small fast circles, or do round penning for respect, and make her hustle her feet. When she's good, then she gets to catch her breath, or she gets to do slow work, or something peaceful, something relaxing. You're making the wrong thing hard and the right thing really easy. So it's just black and white, super easy for her. If you're under saddle, do small circles, like lunge size circles, and you can just even do them at a trot, do a fast trot, do figure eights, make it kind of difficult for her to cop a little bit of an attitude, just like a kid. You're getting after him. If you catch the little things, you never get a big problem. So just, I think in her life, she's had lots of problems of people kind of letting that go, and you got the worst end of that. You came into this with a fight, and now she knows what to do. Maintaining that is going to be very easy for you. Just catch the little things, be consistent, keep up with it, and first and foremost, have fun along the way. She's doing really well. She's made a huge turnaround in 30 days. I'm very proud of her, and I hope you are too. I hope you guys have awesome rides, and let me know if you have any questions along the way.